Hello guys, and in this video we'll have a look at for each loop and how it works. And basically for each loop allows us to loop through arrays. And in previous two videos we had a look at simple arrays and we had a look at associative arrays, and now we will have a look at how we can loop through them, and for example how we could display their values on the screen by looping through those values. And let's create for each loop, and to create for each loop we use for each keyword, and we use opening closing bracket, and then we use opening closing curly brackets, which is the block of code which we want to execute. But before we start, let's create a variable or array, and let's create the same array variable we used in learning arrays, and we used cars, as you remember. And let's create array. Now we know how to create array, and to create array in PHP we use array keyword and opening closing bracket. And in this array we can add values. However, how many values we want? I will add 3 values, so all values will be string values. However, we could add values of different data types. I will add 3 string values, and values in arrays has to be comma separated. So, and first car will be BMW, for example, second car will be Audi, and third car will be Toyota, for example. Okay, and Toyota, sorry guys, and Toyota, still wrong, you see, this happens. Okay, now we have this array which is cars, and this cars array stores 3 values: BMW, Audi and Toyota. And now we would want to loop through and display all of them on the screen. So this for each loop, as I have written here, it takes 2 values which are separated with this keyword as, and first value is array itself, and in our case this would be these cars. Okay, and then we use this keyword as, and second would be variable, whatever variable we would want, and each time this for each loop through this cars variable or cars array, it will store a value in this second variable, whatever we will call it. And I will call this second variable car simply, okay, because this makes sense, because each time it will loop through cars, it will store car name or car value particular in this another variable car. And like I mentioned before, first one is array, then we use keyword as, and then we create another variable, and we can call this variable however we want. And now this loop will loop as many times as values are in array. So we have 1, 2, 3 values in this array, and as you remember, we could check how many values are in array by using count function, which I showed you in previous videos when we had a look at arrays. So let's say we will, each time this loop will loop through this cars array, it will display something on the screen. And let's say we would want to display on the screen this car, this car is, and we could concatenate to it a variable car. Okay, let's use dot sign, and let's use this variable car, where we are storing each time this car name. So first time when this will loop through, it will take from this cars array first car name BMW, and we'll put it in this car variable. Okay, and then we will echo on the screen this car is BMW. Second time it will check if there is still any values in this cars array, and there is. It will see that there is Audi and Toyota as well, and it will store as in this car variable this Audi. Okay, and it will display this car is Audi on the screen. But to display all cars in separate lines, we will concatenate to this another string value, which will be HTML BR tag. So each car every time, or each time this text is executed in next line. And third time it will happen the same. It will check if there is still values in cars array, and there is one more value which is Toyota, and it will store this name in this car variable which we have created, and it will display on the screen this car is Toyota. So it will display 3 times on this screen. So let's save it, let's go back to our browser, refresh, and you see first time it looked, it displayed on the screen this car is BMW, second time it displays this car is Audi, and third time it displayed on the screen this car is Toyota. And this is how for each loop works. It takes first value which is array, whatever array it is, and it loops through it, and each time it loops through it, we use this as keyword, and we can give it any other variable. We can create any other variable name which we want, and in which it will store value by value each time it will loop through. Okay guys, this is how you use for each loop, and if you enjoyed this video then leave a like, subscribe, and please share this video, and see you in my other videos.